Black detective mistaken for a suspect by a racist cop. What happens next will leave you stunned. Marcus Reed had been misidentified as a suspect before, once back in college, twice while wearing plain clothes. But nothing like this. Not with a loaded gun aimed straight at his head. Not with a knee pressed so hard into his back that he could barely breathe. And never by the very people who were supposed to know him. That March morning, he had no idea that his badge, the very thing that signified his years of service, would fail to protect him. His day had started so normally, so beautifully. A kiss on the forehead from his youngest daughter, Mia, as she grinned up at him, still struggling with the laces on her tiny sneakers. "Daddy, can I bring my giraffe to daycare?" she asked, holding up the stuffed toy. Marcus chuckled, ruffling her curls. "Only if Mr. Giraffe promises to behave," he teased. His wife, Lena, handed him a steaming travel mug of coffee, her warm eyes meeting his. "Dinner with my parents at 6, she reminded him with a playful smirk. "Don't be late." Marcus smiled. "I promise." And he meant it. For over a decade, he had served the force with dedication. He wasn't just a good detective. He was one of the best. Respected. Trusted. The guy rookies turned to for guidance. The man who could de-escalate the most volatile situations with nothing but his voice and instinct. But even a reputation like his couldn't protect him from what was about to happen. That morning, he wasn't in uniform. He didn't need to be. Just jeans, a hoodie, and his worn leather jacket, the standard look for plainclothes work. His badge was clipped securely to his belt, his service weapon holstered at his side, and a small notebook in his back pocket. He was following up on a lead from an old informant, someone who rarely called unless it was serious. The address led him to a quiet residential neighborhood. Large oak trees swayed lazily in the breeze. Children played a few houses down, their laughter carrying through the air. Nothing suspicious. No sign of trouble. Just the still tension of a routine stakeout. Then, a police cruiser rolled up behind him. At first he paid it no mind. Maybe the officers were responding to something nearby. Maybe they'd keep driving. But they didn't. The headlights remained on, unwavering. Then the driver's side door swung open. Marcus glanced at his side mirror, spotting the officer. A white man, mid-30s, rigid stance. His hand hovering far too close to his holster. The kind of posture that made your stomach drop. "Step out of the vehicle. Now." Marcus froze. The sharpness in the officer's voice caught him off guard. He rolled down his window, keeping his hands where they could be seen. "Officer, I'm Detective Reed. Out of the car. Hands where I can see them." The officer wasn't listening. Wasn't processing. Marcus remained calm, voice steady. "My badge is on my belt. Left side. I'm working a lead." But the officer wasn't interested in explanations. He was already at the driver's side door. Gun unholstered. "Don't move. Don't you dare move." A chill ran through Marcus's veins. The air felt thick. Across the street, a woman pulled out her phone, recording. Child ran inside. Another cruiser screeched to a halt, sirens flashing in bursts of red and blue. Marcus slowly extended his hands out of the window. His movements careful, deliberate. "Officer, I am a detective. I have ID, my badge, left side. Just look." But the gun didn't lower. Instead, the door was ripped open, and before Marcus could even finish his sentence, he was yanked from the car. His face slammed against the pavement. His shoulder screamed in pain as a heavy boot crushed down on it. His arm twisted behind him, cuffed tight. Adrenaline surged, not the kind that made you fight, but the kind that left you cold. This is real. This is happening. He didn't struggle. He didn't resist. Years of training told him what not to do. But his voice cracked when he managed to whisper, "I'm a cop." The officer didn't flinch. He didn't even pause. Instead he smirked. "You think that's gonna save you?" Those words hit harder than the concrete beneath Marcus's cheek. Because in that moment it was clear, the badge didn't matter. Not when his skin told a different story. Neighbors stood frozen in their driveways. A teenage boy, shaking, recorded every second on his phone. Still no one checked his badge. No one even glanced at it. Because to them, he wasn't a detective. He was just a black man in a hoodie. A threat. A suspect. A problem that needed to be handled. Marcus barely had time to register the cuffs tightening around his wrists when a new voice cut through the chaos. Whoa, whoa, what the hell is going on here? Officer Denise Walker. Marcus looked up just in time to see her face shift from confusion to horror. She knew him. They had worked together. He had trained her. The officer gripping Marcus's cuffs barely glanced at her. Had a suspect. Didn't comply. Denise's expression darkened. Her gaze flicked to Marcus, his bloody cheek, his scraped palms. And then she saw it. Badge. That's Detective Reed. The words landed like a slap. Silence. Marcus saw the moment the truth registered. The younger cop blinked. The older one, the one who had thrown him to the ground, said nothing. Denise stepped closer. Pointed right at his belt. You didn't see that. Silence. You didn't even check. Nothing. Marcus could feel the shift, the embarrassment, the tension, the resentment. But no apology. Just anger that he even had the audacity to exist. Denise turned to Marcus, voice softer now. Are you okay? He didn't answer. Couldn't. His jaw was clenched too tight to speak. Then the officer, the one who had tackled him, actually had the nerve to say, "Protocol says we wait for confirmation." Denise spun on him, fury in her eyes. Protocol? You put a gun to his head and threw him to the ground. What protocol is that? For a long moment nobody spoke. And then Marcus laughed. Bitter. Hello. Because he already knew the answer.